tantrum. My next guest said, though, that we had no choice but to do this. New York Democratic Congresswoman Maloney voted for the package because she says the nation and our markets need it. In the end, Congresswoman, what do you fear would have happened if this went down?
Well, what I fear is what Secretary Paulson and Chairman Bernanke told us in a series of hearings, Neil, that we were close to pre-1930 conditions, that we were close to the markets failing, and that if we did not act, then the famous line from Secretary Paulson, then the alternative would have been far worse.
But you don't know, right? You don't know, right? You don't know.
Well, I know that a bank failed in Virginia Beach, where my sister lives. My colleagues were talking about smaller banks failing in their districts. We know that the fourth largest bank in America, Washington Mutual, failed, and that the Great Wachovia failed. We know that there were many forced marriages with Bear and Merrill, and within 48 hours we lost 4 of the largest investment banking firms in our history. So it's a truth to say that the markets were in turmoil. And this was an issue in which the President, the Republicans, and the Democrats were united to step in and to try to stop the downward spiral of credit so that our banking system and our credit would be there. And
but are you a little troubled, Congresswoman, that just look at the stock market today? It was up close to 300 points, finished down 150 plus points. If that's a ringing endorsement, it's not a very good one, is it?
Well, that's true, Neil, but on Monday when it failed, remember the stocks fell 778 points and we lost $1.2 trillion worth of equity. That hurt a lot of 401ks and savings and investments. And what you're hearing from Main Street is that credit was drying up. You couldn't get credit to pay your employees, to buy your inventory. We were getting close to very much of a crisis situation. And the numbers that came out today, the numbers for unemployment were the worst they've been in 5 years. 159,000 Americans lost their jobs last month. 2.2 million more people are unemployed this year than last year.
No doubt. Congressman, so everything you cite is very accurate. The numbers you just recited are accurate, and the economy is softening. Many argue could soften substantially more still. I guess what I'm worried about, with the best of intentions, ma'am, is now you have incentivized sort of failure into the cake, that there is a backstop for companies that get up against the wall, that you and your colleagues will be there for them. Just today, ma'am, as you know, the state of California, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. He has a tin cup he's passed along for $7 billion of relief. The auto companies have already requested at a minimum $25 to $30 billion. Do you sense that this good deed is going to lead to a lot of punishment?
Well, on what you're saying, I have constituents calling me saying, "Where's the backstop to my credit card bill? Where's the backstop to my loan?" And they're absolutely right to be furious. I'm furious. And we're having hearings on Monday and Tuesday, and I hope you'll cover those too, on what went wrong. How did we get in this mess? It was a series of deregulation. After the Great Depression, we separated out these high-risk firms from commercial banking. Maybe we should do that again. Why in the world were all of these companies so intertwined that if one failed, there was a fear that there would be a domino effect that would bring down our entire economy?
But again, ma'am, we'll never know. But we have seen in the year interim a lot of private sector solutions, the battle for Wachovia and Wells Fargo and Citigroup, and now it's led to this whole, battle in the private markets to wrest control of an institution. We've seen the same happen in this country with other firms that are enticing the interests of Warren Buffett. We'll never know whether this incentivized Mr. Buffett's investment either in Goldman Sachs or in GE. We do know that private markets have a way of doing their own private thing in the middle of a lot of pain, but maybe we should have just let that do its thing.
Well, we were letting the private markets do its thing. The problem was we were afraid, or not, our economists, specifically Chairman Bernanke and Secretary Paulson, Republican appointees, were saying if we did not act, the entire financial system of the United States could crash.
But if these were the same people, ma'am, I understand, but if these were the same people who many in your party and the other party, by the way, say caused this problem, why would you put any faith in them?
Well, because not acting could mean that banks could close and crash, and my constituents could lose their savings account, and businesses would have to close because they had no equity, and we would be in we are in a recession. We would be in yet a deeper recession, similar to the Great Depression. And my mother, when she talked about it, would literally cry. She said, "You can't believe it. There were bread lines. There were no jobs. There was nothing." So we acted.
You
was
honestly
it the right
think
thing to do?
you honestly think we're headed to that?
We tried to put in. That's what the leaders were telling us.
Okay.
Yes, they were.
All right.
They were telling us that.
Gotcha.
But we did build in safeguards, oversight, accountability, and equity share for the taxpayer.
Okay.
I hope the taxpayer will be refunded, but what we must do is reform our system so it is not so exposed. We totally deregulated the system. We have to, if you're too big to fail, then you're too big to gamble with your investors' money. And we need more protection for investors and more oversight. And we're starting on Monday.
Thank you very much.
And we need to clean this mess up. And I'm as angry as my constituents are, and rightfully they are, at having to for this bailout.
I understand.
For
We're
Wall Street.
angry. I'm angry. Everyone's angry. Congresswoman, thank you very much. I know you've had a very hard-working week.
Let's have some changes.
Indeed.
It's been a wild week.
Gotcha.
Up and down.
Yes, indeed. All right.